Paltrocast. Aside from doing press, good day for you so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So my daughter started school today. I'm at home today. So today's a very anti-tour day, right? Completely different person. I feel like I'm not the same guy. So right now I'm good, thank you. My wife
Yeah.
was helping me and my son's in here. She was helping me set my little light thing up.
Oh, team effort.
That way you could see me better. So team effort. I took my daughter to school this morning. She started back, which I found like crazy, right? Like I just January 3rd seems so early to me,
Yeah.
right? To start back at school. I don't know. Maybe not, but it seems odd to me. Anyway, so I took her back this morning. She wasn't necessarily loving it, but I think she was excited to see her friends. And I've been to the bank, I've been to the grocery store, and now I'm sitting down with a little coffee and I'm going to talk to you about this new record.
Well, not just one new record, because I mean, you've put out two records within the last, 6 months or so, because Tough Country is still kind of a new record.
Yeah, I appreciate you wanting to talk about that. I freaking, excuse me, excuse me. Yeah, I love Tough Country. One of the most beautiful albums that I've ever been a part of.
Mhm.
It's really funny. I think, I would assume most artists feel this way. I think you feel like you're getting better at this over the years.
Mhm.
And I just hope people are seeing that. I hope people think like, man, the last couple records Josh has put out with his band and the Panhandlers have probably been the best stuff he's ever had in his career of 15, 16 years now. So I appreciate you saying that. I was actually, the reason I was a minute late on this call is because I was on the phone with Cleto talking through our set list for our upcoming Panhandlers tour.
Wow. Okay, so I have some questions about all that. And can you take a compliment, or is it too early to take compliments here?
Let me get my hat size a little bigger and okay, go ahead.
So juggling your solo career, even though it's the Josh Abbott band, I call it a solo career, and the
Sure.
Panhandlers. When we go
Yeah.
through your tour routing, sometimes you're out with this super group kind of thing where the focus is not on you. Sometimes it's a headlining gig. Sometimes it's you opening up in an arena where the people know who you are, but they're not necessarily there to see you. So it sounds like you have three or four different set list configurations that you're going between. That's a lot of music to have to remember. There's a lot of ego checking going on.
I tell everybody we're either a bipolar band or a tripolar band.
Bipolar.
It's crazy because I guess, the box we exist in, this, even though our genre of Texas country has really evolved and grown into more of a national alt country. I don't know what you call it. It's still Texas country, but it's really grown so much, right?
Yeah.
Um, because of that, we never had the huge mainstream radio hits, so we're not the headliners on these huge festivals. But then there's all these things that exist in Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, all through the Midwest that we do headline, right? And people do
Mhm.
come to. But then we'll go out to Kentucky and we'll play in a theater to 500 people. And then, like you said, we may be opening for Parker McCollum one night and playing to 15,000 people. And but we're not the headliner. And then the next week I might be playing with the Panhandlers, and it's a completely different set of songs, and I'm sharing the stage with three other lead singers. It really is constantly just chaotic almost. There's really no cruise control allowed with what we do and where we're at as a band right now. And I won't lie, it keeps me on my toes. I swear, between all of that and then having a 6 and a 3-year-old at home, dude, like I just am like, can I just go to the woods and hunt for a week and just isolate? I need some me time, but no, I don't get that.
Well, the compliments keep coming because for some artists, the hardest part is coming up with the material. In
Mhm.
your case, it sounds like for somewhere down the road, the challenge was the time because you're juggling the Panhandlers, the family life, and the heavy touring schedule. You're not one of these artists that goes, I'm going to make one album every 3 years and then disappear because it's all about the album. It sounds like you're using the album as the excuse to tour.
I think you nailed it. I mean, honestly, what's crazy about the music industry is the album used to be the product, right?
Yeah.
You're a company. Think about it in business terms. Nobody likes to, but for you, your product is the podcast, right?
Yeah.
About your show. My product and what we do, our product used to be the album. Okay. Now the album is the promotion material to get people to the product, and the product is your live show, because you're touring and your ticket sales and then your merch. That's probably 80% of your gross on the year, I would imagine, for most artists. Obviously, that's probably fluid depending on where they're at in their career and whatever. But yeah, I would imagine most artists, like the very mass majority of what they do comes from touring. So I think you still have to care about the product, or about the album as art, and you still have to make the best product you can. But you definitely go into it going, we're not going to sell 5 million copies of this record. The goal is to make great music so that people will want to come see us live. And if they're going to come see us live, then we need to be out there playing shows.
Yeah. So the upcoming shows, what's a set list look like in terms of somewhere down the road? Because that becomes the challenge of, once you're this career artist, you go, well, I can't do the whole new record, and I can't do just the first record because then they call me a nostalgia act, but I can't just do covers. So is it like 3 songs per album at this point?
I wish everyone asked awesome questions like you, because most of the questions I get are, tell us how your band started. I'm like, man, I've been talking about that for a dozen years.
So Josh, who are your influences?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't even know anymore. Blippy, it's all I listen to at home. So, but
I hear you.
Great question. And you really nailed it, because that's been something my band and I have been talking about. So what's interesting is we have Panhandlers rehearsal tomorrow to prepare for our 2-week tour in January. On Friday and Saturday, my band plays shows at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth. And during the day, we'll be doing 2 or 3 hour rehearsal spaces to prepare for the new tour. And that's literally what we've been talking about. Where's the balance in that? Because I've always taken that approach of, when you put out a new record, that's what you should be playing, right? I don't want to put out a new record and play 2 songs off the new album, because what does that kind of say indirectly to the fans? It says, hey, we have a new product, but we know that you're here to hear all the old stuff, and we're not prepared to play all the new stuff. So honestly, I think every record we've ever recorded, we've always done a really good job of probably playing at least 70% of that record for that tour. And so it does become increasingly harder over the years, because obviously you have your favorites and the fan favorites, and they're undeniable. You know what they are, even if you're tired of playing them, which a couple of them I'm tired of playing. But hey, we get it. That's why people want to come to the show. Those songs are special to them, and it made them a fan. And it would be a disservice to them to not play those songs. But you really have to, it gets trickier and trickier with every album. So that's the long-winded answer. But yeah, we're working on the set now. On this new record, I think there's 11 songs. I think there's 12 tracks, but one of them's an intro. So I believe there's 11 songs or 10 songs, something like that. I think we'll probably play 9 to 11 of them.
Wow.
Live.
So
I know.
Those better get used.
It's bold, and I know that the fans, there's going to be a lot of the fans that come to the show, and, let's be realistic. Fans have a lot going on in their lives, right? There may be fans coming to our tour, and they may not even know we put a new album out. They probably just found out we were coming to town. They were like, yeah, let's go see Josh Abbott Band. They've got that one song I love, or that one album I really loved. And then we get there, and then they're probably like, man, I don't know, I don't know a bunch of these songs. So we do understand that there's a balance to it, and we'll space the songs out. So it's not like we're going to start the show and play the new record front to top. We're not going to end the show with a block of 10 brand new songs. We're going to sprinkle them. So we're going to start with one, then we'll play a couple old ones, and we'll play another new one, then we'll play some old ones, and we'll play a couple new ones. we'll spread them out kind of throughout the set list of 25, probably somewhere between 22 and 25 songs, including the encore if we do get encored. And then yeah, I would assume probably 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that high number range of the new record will be in the live set.
Wow.
I'm at a point in my career where I'm like, if I'm going to record these songs and be super proud of this record, I want to share this music with the fans. I want to be up on that stage and be energized by it. And I want to be that. I mean, because I think a lot of us bands, we can remember when you first came out, you put your first record out, or maybe even your second record. Man, you were so fired up to get up there and play those songs. And you knew going into it, a lot of people coming to the show, maybe you were opening for somebody, you knew they weren't going to know them. So your job was to sell them, right?
Yes.
Play the song as good as you
Salesman.
can, sing the song as good as you can, connect with the fans, and hope that they dig it. That job does become harder as you get older because people already have their favorites. But I just see it as a challenge. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go into that. We're going to play these 8 or 9 brand new songs. And our job is to play them so freaking awesome that when those fans leave, they're downloading the new album or they're making sure that they favorite certain songs. Like, yeah.
Help the algorithm. Well, before I ask my last obsession / topic, it sounds like you're 2 albums away from the medley phase of your career, where you go, okay, well, I've got a 70 minutes.
Dude, I literally just talked to one of our lead guitar players in the car the other day about, should we do a medley of 3 or 4 of our songs? It feels so narcissistic to be like, we just have so many great tunes, we want to play them for you. But really think about it, we do have some songs that maybe it's smart to play 45 to 60 seconds of it and then go into another one and then go into another one and let fans have fun with it.
Yes, in terms of medleys, I've seen the Beach Boys a lot of times. The Beach Boys basically close with the medley of 15 songs. You're hearing hits the whole night, and then they do those 15. You go, oh, you're right. They didn't play Surfin' USA and Fun, and all. It kills. But every hip hop artist you see who had a lot of hits, it's all start and stop. It's all 30 to 90 seconds of each song. So if Josh Abbott becomes the country medley king, I'm not gonna,
well, I think the big difference here is, the Beach Boys had national and worldwide #1 songs. They just had so many hits that they can't get them in the set list. Well, we don't have that many hits. We just have that many songs that we want to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. But man, it's just there's just this fine line, this balance between what you want to do as an artist and how you want to do your job, right? Like, you have your job and your art and you have it done a certain way, right? And it's like, it's your interview. It's going to be done your way. These are your questions. I definitely want my show to be presented in a certain way with the new album on the backdrop and really cool merch and moments of the show that really bring in fans and moments, signing autographs after the show. And I want all these elements to where we really connect with people. And you just have to realize you can't play every new song, but it's important to play a bunch of them, I think. I just don't want to be that band that releases a new album and is scared to play
it. Medleys, that's the magic word. And the last topic obsession I have, I don't know if this gets a 20-second no answer or an actual a thesis, is
I'm really bad at long-winded answers, in case you haven't figured that out yet.
You have stuff to say. Sometimes when you're interviewing people, you ask the question, they go, yeah. And then there's other people like Ted Nugent, you go, how are you? And he talks for 7 minutes about how he's doing. And you're somewhere in between the two, and that's fine, Josh.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So anytime I go to a country concert, whether it's alt country, Americana, or modern country, I find that they were all secretly influenced by Mutt Lange and 80s metal. Was that part of your musical upbringing, or are you the one country artist I've spoken with where that did not happen, where you didn't grow up on Van Halen, Rad, and Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, that's not me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I grew up to appreciate them when I was in college, but I grew up with a pretty strict Christian household. And we were allowed to listen to pretty much Christian music growing up, and then, country music, which I find really funny because, country music is all about drinking and feeding and,
Atoning.
all these random things. But for some reason, country was fun. I think it's really just because my dad didn't like rock music. But, you get to college, you start to spread your wings and you meet people up from outside your hometown and they introduce you to their likes and, so you dive into catalogs a little bit more as you get older. And so I definitely, Aerosmith is one of my favorite bands ever. I don't know that counts as 80s death metal, but I don't think that those were influences on me. And I would say there's several of my band members that probably would attribute various musicians from the 70s and 80s as big influences on them and their instrument and their likes and dislikes.
So in your case, before I let you go, who was the artist that made you want to pick up a guitar in the first place?
Oh man, that's pretty easy. Willie Nelson, Pat Green, and Jesus.
Wow.
That sounds like a very cliche country boy answer, but it's really true. I was in college. I wanted to learn some praise and worship songs so that I could lead like songs in like little Bible devotions and Bible studies.
Yeah.
And I loved Willie Nelson. I wanted to learn songs to play for my dad and my grandpa. And Pat Green, he was like the king, man.
Yeah, he's
to me,
a
he still is.
Texas stadium legend. And then in New York, he probably plays to 300 people. And
No,
then
it's more than that because we've actually played shows with Pat in New York. He'll play to a couple thousand people, but I do know what you mean. Yeah, in Texas, and he's the Bruce Springsteen of Texas country. I mean, he's the guy, and he really grew Texas country and helped it go national. And I see what guys are doing now, such as Cody Johnson and and Parker McCollum, but really Kojo. And I think before him, you had some other guys out there with record deals like myself and Randy Rogers band and a few others. But before us, what led to us being able to do it, what led to Wade Bowen being able to do that was Pat Green. I mean, he really just blew up. And that was when I was in college. And so I wanted to learn Take Me Out to a Dance Hall and Whiskey and all of his, Wave on Wave when that came out and all his songs. And so I literally learned guitar for Pat Green, Willie Nelson, and Jesus. I've always thought it's probably a song title, right? But it's kind of a cheesy song title. But I mean, it would be heartfelt. It would be true and authentic.
it's incredible that those were the guitar influences because you do play above the 5th fret. Those are cowboy chord extraordinaires right there with the first 3 frets.
Oh.
So you obviously have evolved over time, Josh. And
that is so good.
Thank you for the many years of great music and really looking forward to what's to come, whether it's the solo career, the Panhandlers, etc. Great head on your shoulders, and really thank you for being you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Paltrocast.